Hello, today I'm going to show you how to design a roof. The roof that we are going to do today is going to be 8 meters by 12 meters. Okay, so assuming that it will be the cladding that we're going to use is going to be concrete sheets. Those are pretty heavy, so the material has to be close together. Okay, so the first thing is the first truss that you place should be in line with this very point here. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so this is the line that I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to trim off this part, trim off that part. Okay, so this is going to be my first truss. Okay, let me change the color a bit to this one. Okay, let me change this one to other colors that don't really show that well. Okay, I'm going to use a bit of a brown color, a brownish color. Okay, this is going to be my truss. This is my first truss. Okay, so at this very point you need a truss, same as at this other point you also need a truss. Okay, so now once you have a truss here and there, you're going to offset trusses to the maximum spacing possible. For concrete, it's going to be 750 millimeters. Okay, 1 2 3 4, okay, 5. Okay, I'll put this somewhere in the middle there. Okay, so these are the trusses that we will have for this middle part. This is going to be fairly simple, as you will see as we'll be going ahead with this. Okay, now from this point now we're going to have trusses that will be a bit flat at the top. They are called truncated trusses. Okay, so let me just offset a bit, offset by 75 if you still remember. Okay, we're going to have 1, maybe 2, 3. Okay, so the distance from this point to about that point should be roughly about 2 meters, a bit less than 2 meters, which is good enough like this. Okay, so these have got a flat surface at the top, these trusses. Okay, so I can mirror them to the other side, or I can just redraw. It's the same thing. Okay, now we are going to have what are called jack trusses. Okay, a jack truss, as you will see very soon. Okay, this is my truss to come to this point, then I'll finish it off. There is a reason why I splitted it at this point here. Okay, this part is in a truss just like the other. This one is just what is called a flying rafter. So I'm going to change this to maybe a red color. I'm going to change the line weight to something like that. I'm going to change the settings here where it reads line type scale, maybe 250. Let's see. Okay, 250 is not quite working. Let me maybe 10, 12 is not too good. Maybe 50. Okay, I think 50 is a bit too much. Maybe 20. Okay, 20 looks fine to me. Okay, so this is the truss that we're going to have. So I'm going to offset this truss. I'm going to offset it by 750, sorry. 1 2 3 times. Okay, 1 2 3 times. Then from this point we're going to have another additional truss there and there. And once we are done, we're going to offset this one. Okay, let me offset that one. This one I'm going to offset it. Press enter. 1 2 times, 1 2 times. Then I'm going to use this line to trim. I want to trim that part, that part, that part, and that part. Okay, now I have shown you the layout for the trusses here. I'm going to mirror it to the other side. Okay, I think we are getting to the good part here, so let me just do it a bit quickly so that you won't lose me. This is how you go about doing a roof. Okay, I'm going to mirror it somewhere at the center like I did the first one. Okay, now when it gets to this point, now you have another truss that will be going that side. That's just how it works. You can offset this one. Okay, let me delete. If you offset this one like that, 750, okay, you find out that it lands at this very point. Okay, I'm going to trim the part that is in between like that. Okay, so this is how you're going to place your trusses on a floor plan. Okay, I think I'm done with the layouts. Okay, now we get to the part where you do a bit of writing, because this means nothing until you write something on top of it. So I'm going to name these trusses. These are full trusses from this point to that point, if you still remember what I said. Okay, so I'm going to put a text box there. I'm going to write TR. Okay, let me just write in caps TR. This is what I usually do when I'm talking about trusses. Okay, since this one is the first one, I'm going to say TR01 like that. I'm going to change this color to maybe that color. Okay, I think I'm okay. I'm going to copy this point to somewhere there. I'm going to rotate this a bit like that. Okay, 90 degree. Okay, now I'm going to move this point to that point. Maybe I'll place it there. Okay, so this is my first truss. Okay, I'm going to copy it along all the trusses that are exactly the same as this one. I'm going to name them. Okay, like that. Now this is not a truss like this one. This one is at a bit of a flat part on its top, so I'm going to offset it. This one is going to be what is called a truncated truss, so I'm going to write TT. Let me just use caps TT1. Okay, then I'm going to have another truncated truss here. This is going to be my TT2. Okay, then I'm going to have this one is not a truncated truss. Let me change the color a bit here so that it's easier for me to follow through. This one is what I would call a guitar truss, and this one will fall in the same bracket. It's also a guitar truss. Okay, so let me copy this one. I'm going to copy this part. I'm going to place it there. Okay, this is what I will call a guitar truss. So this is a guitar. It's a guitar. Sorry for that. Guitar truss one. Okay, so these are my trusses that I have here. Okay, let me just copy these things and place them on the other side. Okay, I'm just going to copy them. I'm going to place them there. Okay, I think I made a mistake there. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, I'm going to copy these ones, copy them. I'm going to place them all over this at this point here like that. Okay, I'm going to move this one. This one is going to be my guitar truss 2. This one is going to be my this is going to be my truncated truss like that. Okay, these are the trusses that I have, and those are the respective names. Okay, so there's another set of trusses. This one, which are called jack trusses. Okay, so I'm just going to write jack truss. Okay, that is my jack truss. This is the first one. Okay, then I'm going to have a jack truss 2. This is going to be my second jack truss. I'm going to have a jack truss 3. Okay, this is going to be my third one. Then I'm going to have another jack truss, which is jack truss number 4. Okay, jack truss number 4. Then I'm going to have another one, which is going to be my jack truss number. This is going to be jack truss number 5. Okay, so these are the jack trusses that I have. This one can be also a jack truss. Okay, let me just copy these things and mirror them on the other side. Okay, I'm going to just use a mirror tool. I'm going to mirror them like that. Okay, I'm going to press enter. I'm going to mirror like that. Okay, I'm going to move them a bit so that they are placed correctly. So I'm gonna just have to lower them a bit like that. Okay, so these are the trusses that we have. So we also need them on the other side, so I'm going to copy them to the other side like that. I'm going to place them somewhere here like this. Okay, so this is how you detail the floor plan of a roof, okay, which is heaped by nature. Now we want to draw the individual trusses. You have to draw all of them. Okay, the first one is going to sit from this point and it's going to go all the way to that point. Okay, so I'm going to copy this thing, I'm going to place it there, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees like that. Okay, now this is my bottom chord, so I'm going to have to add another line, which is going to be the members that make up the truss. Okay, this is a very good point. This is something that I love to do a lot. Okay, if you type in a number, for example 12,000, and you press the tab button, it goes into the angle mode. Now you are measuring the angle, let's say it's 21 degrees, and press enter. Okay, this thing is 21 degrees. Let me just measure that for you. I'll go here, I'll click on this one that is used to measure. This is about 7 degrees, so I don't know where I missed it. Okay, let me just delete this one, let me just delete this one. I'm going to copy this part, I'm going to place it there. I'm going to click onto this one, I'm going to rotate it. I want to rotate it by a few degrees like that. I'm going to type in 21 degrees and press enter. Okay, this is my 21 degree angle. So let me just move it into place. I'm going to move from that point to that point like that. Let me measure from that point to that point is 21 degrees, which is good enough. Okay, I'm going to use construction lines. There's construction line here. Okay, if you were to measure from this point here to that point, you will find out the overhang is 600. So we need an overhang of 600. I'm going to offset this one like that by 600 and press enter like that. I'm going to chamfer from that point to that point. Okay, now I'm going to delete these two. Okay, now I'm going to mirror this one right at the center like that. Okay, now we have this thing represented perfectly. Okay, I'm going to chamfer from that point to that point. Okay, this is going to be my first truss. It's going to be this truss, this particular truss. Okay, let me just take the name here. I'm going to move it somewhere here like that. Okay, I'm going to type in the truss. Okay, this is the name of the truss. Okay, as we go through this, where I'm going to give you more information. Okay, this is good. There's going to be a center post. Let me just delete. Let me use the construction line. There's going to be a center post like that one. Okay, so the maximum center to center distance for this kind of thing is going to be 1.5 meters. Okay, so I'm going to offset this by 75. Okay, I'm going to offset by 75. Let me show you what I mean. Like that. I'm going to offset it a couple of times. Okay, I think this is enough. I'm going to mirror this to the other side like that. Okay, enter. Now we have our truss. Okay, I'm going to copy it a few times. Okay, this is the first time, the second time, maybe the third time, the fourth time, maybe the fifth time, the sixth time, because they are all the same. They might differ a bit, but they are all the same generally speaking. Okay, so I'm going to use these lines to do my cutting. I'm going to cut that part, I'm going to cut that part. I'm going to delete this one, that one, and that one. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to place in supports here. They have to be in this angle from the top. They have to slant like this towards the center, like this one. Okay, so the ones that are coming from this side, they're going to slant this way. Okay, this is for this is so that they add the necessary support here. Okay, so if this is a truss, I'm going to match it with the other trusses. Okay, like that. Let me see. Okay, now we have the first truss. Now it's just a matter of adding the I'm just adding in the places, the supports here, the dimensions, so that it will be easy for someone to just follow through. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to add in maybe the height. Now it's now an easy thing to just to draw this thing. Okay, I'm going to add in this measurement. I'm going to add in this one, which is more crucial, this one. Okay, sorry about that, I made a mistake. It's going to be from there to there, like that. Okay, so once you give someone this particular this information, it becomes very easy for them to follow along, make adjustment, and all that. Okay, so now we are going to type in a few things that I think you should know. Okay, we need to tell them about the top chord, so I'm going to type in a top. Okay, let me just double click here. Sorry, let me just type in top chord. Sorry about the spellings. I'm not a guru with spellings. Okay, the top chord, I'm going to use this is standard timber in Zimbabwe. Sorry if I'm using Zimbabwean timber. This is how we cut it in Zimbabwe. I'm going to use 152 by 38 millimeter. Okay, for that, let me just adjust it a bit. Okay, let me center it a bit. Let me copy it. Okay, now the top chord, I'm going to go for the bottom chord. Bottom chord. Okay, I'm going to use the same material. Then I'm going to go for something else, maybe the bracing. Okay, let me go for bracing. Sorry about that. Sorry about the spellings. I might get them wrong a bit. So this is going to be 114 by so much. Okay, this is what we're going to use for this one. So these are the dimensions. This is how you dimension it. This is how you draw your timber. It's going to be pretty much the same except for the guitar one. Okay, now when we go for the TT one, okay, this one was the it was a truss. It was TR01. Okay, so I'm going to type in TR01. Then I'm going to type in number. Okay, in shift or number. Then I'm going to count how many they are. Okay, let me just edit it a bit. Okay, let me find out. We are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Okay, so I'm going to type in 0, 7 like that. Okay, let's go for the second one. Okay, now this part is going to be flat from this point to this point. As you can see, let me go here. It's going to be flat from that point to that point. Okay, so we're going to have a line like this, and we're going to cut off this part because it doesn't work like that. I'm going to delete this one, that one, maybe that one. Let me delete this one and see. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm going to delete these ones as well. Okay, now let me add the supports like that. We're going to have one from that side. We're going to have one from that side like that. And then we are going to have one from that side like that. Okay, let's just cut off a few things that are a bit extra. Okay, again, I think we are done with this one. You can follow along and make this one similar to this one, but you have to remove a bit more of those supports. Now when it comes to this guitar one, now you are going to have the bottom chord has to be multiplied by 2 because it has 2 bottom chords. I'm sure if you are interested, you let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Okay, let me just leave this one. Maybe you'll finish up in your own time. We are going to go to the jack truss like this one. Okay, the most important thing is to measure from that point to that point. Okay, come up with that distance. let me just draw a line from that point to that point like that. I'm going to move that line here. I'm going to take it all the way that side. I'm going to place it there. Okay, now I'm going to delete this one, the longer one. Okay, I know it's going to end at that point, so I'm going to delete these ones. Okay, now this is how it is. It's going to end at this very point. I'm going to trim off this part. Okay, if you still remember the measurement that I showed you, it's actually this measurement. Okay, is it correct? Let me see. We are going to measure from this point to that point. It's supposed to be, okay, let me just move that line. I'm going to draw another line from that point, this thing. I'm going to move it like that all the way here. I'm going to place it at this very point. Then I'm going to move this one. I'm going to move it all the way to that point. I'm going to adjust this one. Okay, as you can see, it's now accurate. Now I'm going to extend this a bit so that it matches like that. Okay, as you can see, this is going to be the dimension that we're having. All these things are going to be almost the same with the ones that you have here. Now we're going to support it. Like I said, it's going to be in that angle. Then you're going to have a support like this one. Then you're going to cut off this part. Okay, this is what a jack truss looks like. So this is a jack truss. This is a truncated one that we left. Okay, let me just do a bit of coloring here for you. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, as you can see, this is basically how these trusses will be like. Okay, I think if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe, like and share. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for your time.